No, so listen. So GT, we good? Good. Hey, Muck, you had a question for the great?
Yeah, I was just asking, did he put lotion on today?
My sweater's lotion.
You're nasty. Like, even from last week, it just carries over.
Ladies and gentlemen,
yeah,
I would like to welcome you to the Greatest Show podcast. I'm your host, Lee.
What else?
AKA Southside Lee on IG.
What else?
And I'm joined by my partner in pod.
Arlington Augustus the Great.
AKA
Life is fly once you define what your purpose is. But even doing fly shit, you encounter turbulence. Shout out to Jay Ski. Nothing is more humbling than when your daughter gotta read the big words to you. How you gonna give advice about life and you can't even get through customs? You supposed to be saying AKA sexual massage, AKA gorilla pox. And we are
3ThePodway. Chumps.
Your success took a shot.
Fuck a monkey pox.
What are you gonna do now? How you gonna kill her?
You goddamn right. Let's give it up for him.
Jamaican curry.
Rice and peas and cabbage.
Vegetables.
Cecily boy.
Let's give it up for him.
COMPTOA. On the hood.
It is me, Potties. It's your conscience.
AKA
The correspondent La Potty.
La Potty LaBelle.
Can I get my last AKA?
AKA
Chief's wife and...
Let's give it up for him.
Keep doing it every week. After one
LaBelle. That was good.
You're extra.
Hey, good afternoon. Hello. I don't know if y'all noticed. I got my Philly hat on today.
Special day in Philly.
Nah, I was in Philly last weekend, so every time I go to Philly, I get reminded.
Shout out to moms. How she doing?
Yeah, that I'm from Philly. She living. She doing good, man. You know, life's good. So you good? Deep thought, big man.
Luther Lee.
So every week, I'm reminded of why this isn't the best work environment. I have an erratic coworker who just refuses to stick to the script because
me GP.
We didn't rehearse that.
Gorilla pops.
That wasn't in the script.
All right.
Hey, listen. So we want to introduce you to 3ThePodway, the podcast where we meet at the intersection of culture and conversation.
That's good. That was good.
It's always
He's
good.
worked on that.
A word from our sponsors.
What does that even mean?
Follow 3ThePodway on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Chumps.
Sounds so beautiful, don't you agree?
Hey. Before you jump into anything, hey, retract that statement, dog. Don't speak to me like that, especially not in public. All right, thank you.
So you would prefer to be spoken? Okay.
There we go. Successfully clean.
DM slide.
So look, so how's everybody been since the last time we congregated?
Doesn't matter. No one cares.
So moving on. So we had some developments, and we want to get right to it. So we had some recent developments with Brianna Taylor. Can you catch us up?
Yes, we did. So recently, the U.S. Department of Justice charged 4 former officers. Two who are former officers and 2 who are current police officers. Ex-detective Joshua James, Brett Hankinson, and the current officers were Kyle Meany and Kelly Goodlett. They're facing charges that include civil rights offenses, unlawful conspiracies, unconstitutional use of force, and obstruction. The indictments made that were that they drafted and approved what they knew was a false affidavit to support a search warrant for Miss Taylor's home.
So basically everything that we had heard that we had assumed is actually been found to be factual.
Yeah.
So it was a falsified document that they used to enter her residence and ultimately murder her.
Yep.
So I feel awkward. I don't want to give up claps for that.
No.
But again, to see that the family is getting some degree justice.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see this thing all the way through. And I say we collectively because that happened during a moment where we as a people were just like, engulfed and like almost raged to a degree,
For sure,
right?
absolutely.
Because it was a hot time for us. So hopefully the family can see some type of relief with this process and again see those guys get convicted.
Yeah, and we will continue to say her name.
Absolutely. I like that.
Well, let's give it up for that. Side note, I know that's not where you were going, but did y'all hear that ICDC degree? That girl can read.
Oh, you seen that? Yeah, I know. Like I got
Darquavia's mama.
I got it. They emailed it to me.
She learned it.
Are you sitting on the couch? So
Wait, you got a virtual degree?
Yeah, they emailed it.
They emailed you.
My dad was so happy he posted on his Facebook.
Hold on, was it a? Hold on, let me ask you a question. Was it a PDF?
Yeah.
Hey,
so I could print it off and just hang it up,
So could you edit it?
I'm gonna say you can edit it.
Well, no,
Masters and everything.
No, it already had
doctoral degree on.
Can I get
that was already on.
I mean, was the file locked?
What's her password? After I put it there.
So we also had another breaking news update. There was something happened with Brittney Griner today.
Yeah, so actually, Brittney Griner, they actually sentenced her to 9.5 years in a Russian prison for her charges.
How long?
9.5 years.
9.5 years. Yeah. Okay.
And she's already been over there, I think, given like 6 months or so already locked up, going through the process, waiting for, judges and lawyers to come through. But I mean, I was reading the charges and I was saying that she was not allegedly, but she got, arrested for just having less than 1 gram of cannabis oil.
Right.
Which is, I mean, granted, here in the States, like they started legalizing and, lowering the penalty, but obviously it's 2 different countries or state, right? But still just looking at the gravity of, the seriousness of her crime seen over there and what she's getting hit with now, it's like, it's surreal, man.
Now, what people don't, for people who aren't familiar, Brittney Griner is a WNBA player who during her off season, because it's getting better, but female athletes do not make the same amount of money as their male counterparts, and so females tend to go overseas during their off seasons to make substantially more. Right. I believe I heard a story where Candace Parker was saying, let's say here she makes say $250,000. Right. In Russia, she's making $1 million. Right. For the in essence for the same job, right? Going over there to play basketball. So Brittney Griner has played in Russia for a minimum of 7 years because she has 7 Russian championships under her belt. So this is a known entity in Russia. And that it's kind of sad that it's come down to this for her. And she's now become, in essence, a political pawn, right? So you want to explain like that angle?
Well, no, I'm just actually I didn't, but thank you for passing that to me that way. I did have some questions though. I always like to shake the tree, stir the pot, if you will. Let's talk through this, right? Like, let's bring the conspiracies into play. Obviously, the political pawn portion plays a role, but there's the question of, did she actually have the oil on her? Like maybe it was planted. She's a well-known face, a well-known figure out there. If she did have it, like why wasn't she more aware of what she was doing, right? Like as a public figure, even in that country, right? She's a public figure. She should have been
7 years plus.
I mean, if we're thinking, right? Like, I mean, there was tons of warnings. You know what I mean? Like, so does a little bit of comfort in your stardom, maybe? I don't want to call it arrogance because I'm not trying to like stir the pot that much, but like there's some comfort in her being the person over there, and maybe that played a role in her comfort level of, if she did in fact have it on her, maybe bringing it with her, right?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I mean those are great questions.
So to answer your first question about whether or not it was planted or not,
it could have been.
She admitted that she did have it on her. Okay. And she she did a speech or whatnot for a testimony or whatnot. And she said, that's why I pleaded guilty to my charges, because I understand everything that has been said against me, the charges that are against me, and that is why I pled guilty. But I had no intent to break any Russian laws. Okay, all right. Okay. So she, I mean, like you said, it was recreational to an extent, right? And I think somebody even said it was prescribed too.
Oh yeah. See, even with that, I'm a little skeptical because maybe like if this could have been advised by her lawyer, right? So like, hey, let's just say we did it, we didn't mean it, blah blah blah. But yeah, I'll accept that if it came out of her mouth. So, does her star power give her a pass though?
I mean, I think this is showing that it doesn't.
I want to ask the tough question.
But the argument has been along those lines. Everyone likes to throw out LeBron. They're saying that if LeBron was in this same situation, this would have never gotten remotely close to this. So I think that's your question too, right?
It's twofold, right? Like her being a star, right? And we're under the impression that the U.S. they're in negotiations to get her back, right?
Right.
So why her, right? There are, I'll just assume at least 100 other U.S. persons in that country for maybe similar offenses, maybe similar mistakes.
Well, we're not gonna act as though the temperature around women and the temperature around minority women is not at a pitch high enough for the government to react.
Right.
Like for them to leave a African American woman in Russia, that's a hell of a PR thing that you'd have to respond to. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. I'm sure that has something to do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. Like why, we know the answer why her, but like is that fair, right? I'm sure there are other servicemen and women in the military who may be in a similar situation.
Actually, if you so Biden did drop up a tweet or a statement, right? He said, "Today, American citizen Brittney Griner received a prison sentence that is one more reminder of what the world already knew. Russia is wrongfully detaining Brittney. It's unacceptable, and I call on Russia to release her immediately so she can be with her wife, loved ones, friends, and teammates. My administration will continue to work tirelessly and pursue every possible avenue to bring Brittney and Paul Whelan home safely as soon as possible."
Right, so that's the political pawn piece.
Right. Because he's a whole nother guy that was suspected of spying in 2018. So
So the way this is,
think about that. He's been there for 4 years, and he's like, "Oh, now y'all want to."
They just see.
Potentially he could feel that way, right? Like
so the way this is supposed to play out is Brittney Griner pleads guilty. Now that is done, when they go to make the swap between Russia and the United States based on convicted felons, right? Now it's an even swap,
right?
Because had she been innocent, there's nothing for Russia to give up. So she had to be technically convicted for it to be considered or viewed as an even swap,
right?
And as we know, Russia's not going to look like the weaker entity in this.
Absolutely,
they're going to try to keep this as level as possible. So again, man, prayers out to Brittney Griner and her family. Hopefully she comes home soon. Let's give it up for that.
Absolutely.
All right. Again, man, in the spirit of transparency, right? Again, we talk about we are the intersection of culture and conversation.
For sure.
There's no, and as uncomfortable as it's going to be, there's no more prominent story that fits that than this Deshaun Watson case.
Right.
We're talking about an African American. We're talking about a man. We're talking about sexual assault. We're talking about the NFL.
Right.
We're talking about white NFL owners. This has many, many elements that touch almost every sector of the world, if you will, right? And within the culture, right? So bear with us as we get into the Deshaun Watson story, because I think it's important to talk through it all and try to be as transparent as possible. Potentially, and I'm prefacing all this at the risk of possibly offending someone.
Right.
These are just simply opinions, right? And this is just perspective. This is not saying this is right. This is not saying this is wrong. This is just a matter of perspective. But it is something that you have to talk about. Okay, so I'll start off with Deshaun Watson, a quarterback now for the Cleveland Browns, who has a contract that is the highest guaranteed money of any NFL player ever. Right. Previous to Deshaun Watson, I believe the number was roughly 50-60 million. Okay. Deshaun Watson's entire $230 million contract is fully guaranteed by the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
Let's start there. African American quarterback, $230 million.
I've seen it
guaranteed
in any sport.
Set the benchmark, and no one's gonna, like, Aaron Rodgers isn't even getting that, right? And this is an MVP. He's not even getting that.
Super Bowl champ.
Right, Super Bowl champ. So let's set the stage for that. That's who this guy is, right? on the football field. Now we have allegations from 24, I believe at last count was 24 women that have filed lawsuits against Deshaun Watson, accusing him of sexual misconduct. Right now, it has not been detailed as to exactly what that means.
Right.
The foundation is that he solicited women for massages, and during his massage session, sexual misconduct occurred with each of these 24 women.
Right.
23 of the 24 women have settled out of court. I preface that by saying $230 million guaranteed by the Cleveland Browns. One could argue the reason why they guaranteed so much money was so that he had the financial means to cover settling 23 lawsuits. You rather have Deshaun Watson do it than to have the Cleveland Browns do it. Right? So now we get into this suspension. The NFL has suspended Deshaun Watson for 6 games.
Right.
Deshaun Watson has never been convicted of sexual misconduct. You said the law of averages.
Right.
You had brought that up. So can you explain when you said the law of averages?
I just think that out of 24 women, there's no way that at least 4 of them have some validity in their argument, right? Do I believe everybody's story? No, I'm sure people saw an opportunity and took advantage of it. But I just can't, I just can't comprehend or agree that or think that 24 women are lying completely, right? It just doesn't sit well to think that there may be some. He might have done some disrespectful things, right? And they just fell into that category. I'm sure there's some that he completely violated and they deserve whatever they're getting.
Right.
So yeah, to your point, the law averages. I think he did something. I just don't know to what extent he did it.
So the NFL has put themselves in a very precarious situation. Precedents. That's a big word. Precedents within the NFL is not on their side.
Absolutely.
We directly point to Ben Roethlisberger, who at the time was a very prominent figure in the NFL.
Super Bowl champ. Outside
of Tom Brady and Peyton Manning at the time, Big Ben might have been the biggest name and face in football at the time.
For sure.
So he was accused of
double rape.
He's
a multi-offender.
He was accused of two separate incidents where he was accused.
That we know of.
Yeah.
Right. That we know of, that he was accused of rape on 2 separate occasions.
Yeah.
What was the result? What was the story? And what was the result of those?
So Ben Rapelessberger, no means no Ben. He got 0 punishment for his allegations, we'll call them, right? Because one was, if I'm not mistaken, settled out of court.
One was settled out of court, and one
then the
was,
other had
lack of evidence, so it was thrown out.
So
he wasn't suspended at all?
Absolutely not. No. So, I mean, if we're being consistent, right? I don't agree with this. However, if we're being consistent, from my understanding, Deshaun Watson hasn't been convicted of anything. So, in theory, right?
Why is he suspended?
6 games? Again, I don't believe that, but I mean,
but he goes a step further.
If we want to be consistent with the NFL, right?
So he got the 6-game suspension. The NFL has decided that they want to appeal that decision. The NFL is now pushing for an indefinite ban. Wow. Now, where it gets tricky,
at least 1 year for sure, they want to.
Right. Now, where it gets tricky is the NFL simply doing this again as a PR move? Because again, I told you we're in a very hot time where these things are hot button topics.
Right.
PR plays a factor, whether we like it or not. PR plays a factor in all these decisions, right? So the NFL has to at least appear as though they're taking this seriously and that they're doing something about it. That could look like very well. It could look like. It could very well look like the them trying to get ahead of this.
Yeah, for sure. So
Right.
before we go, I got some. I'm gonna break down a couple of those like incidents that what players have had, right? But before we even get to that, one of the other reasons I feel comfortable in saying I think something happened with Deshaun Watson is right. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Follow the money. All those euphemisms. The Houston Texans also settled out of court his former team with people, right? Who alleged something. So it's like that organization felt it necessary to be like, all right, let's close these deals, right? Close these potential loopholes that would lead back to us, because there was a question of if they were facilitating his activities, right? So just to close the loop on that, and then all right, so you got Big Ben again, no punishment, double rape. You got Ray Rice. He got 2 games for his elevator incident. He was also fined, I think, like $30,000. You got Josh Brown, a kicker for the Giants at the time.
The Giants, right?
He was he got in a domestic violence situation. Right? Yeah, he beat his wife up. He got a 1-game suspension. Then you got Kareem Hunt. He fought the girl in the elevator. Or in the hotel lobby or something. Right.
It was a big group of them. Yeah.
He got 8 games for that. Calvin Ridley, again, this is different. Like, everyone has different offenses, right? He gambled on the internet website.
A couple $100 or something, $1,000.
Right, exactly. So not only can you get a degree online and they send it to you in an email, you could
cum laude.
Talk that talk.
You get cum laude. You could also gamble online, which is against NFL policy. Now he got suspended the entire season, and I'm assuming they're they may want to make an example out of him, right? True. But DeAndre Hopkins and a plethora of other players for performance enhancing drugs. It seems like that's a 6-game suspension, right? So performance enhancing drugs is 6 games, gambling is a year, beating women up ranges anywhere from 1 to 8 games, raping women ranges from hey, we'll see you next week to a year or indefinite, right? So the lack of consistency there within the NFL is just based on like stardom, publicity, right? Like notoriety. It's a bunch of other factors that go into that.
And we're not going to skip past the fact that an owner, Robert Kraft.
Oh yeah.
That whole scandal with him came and went.
Swiss cheese wrap.
Now, obviously, Robert Kraft
stinks.
Now, obviously, Robert Kraft is an owner.
Hand job Rob.
And he's a
hand job Rob. I'm not going to stop until you say it. Hand job Rob.
And he's a billionaire.
Hand job Rob.
He was able to get the entire incident. From what I understand, the footage has been destroyed.
Swept under the rug.
Like, he was able to procure the footage and destroy it.
Procure.
But this is a known thing. That's how crazy that is. Like, that's a known thing. But as far as closing out this Deshaun Watson conversation, again, it is uncomfortable to talk about. You do have to acknowledge that something wrong did occur.
Right.
Accountability has to be held. We're not judge and jury here, but again, it is a conversation that we just wanted to talk about because we felt like it was important.
Yeah, I think the risky thing, like you said before we get over, I think the risky thing that the NFL is doing with leaving it open ended like that, with, like you said, the various ranges of punishment for all these various allegations, crimes, or whatever, whether they done or not done, is they leaving it subjective to how the panel, who I don't know how they go about the arbitration or whatever, but they leaving it to chance to be like, oh, this is how I feel about this particular situation, as opposed to having like a blanketed, offense, because it's a job, right? Yeah. Like, you do something at your job, it's an infraction, it's a guaranteed because you know that going in. Like, you do something, boom, you're fired, you're gone.
I mean, a lot of those cases too, it's almost public perception, right? Like, the Ray Rice thing wasn't an issue until the video came out, right? Yeah. Kareem Hunt was on video, so they like, oh, we gotta do something. Josh Brown was in the comfort of his home, right? So it's like, well, we heard,
and it's something that he was battling. It wasn't like something like, oh, like,
yeah. So it's like it's just depending on how much noise and movement gets put behind it, and unfortunately, that's what a lot of things, right? But
So if Deshaun comes back and win the Super Bowl championship, does that nullify?
all sins are forgiven.
Oh, okay.
That's how it works.
I just want to know because clearly 2 organizations putting hella bread behind him, so he gotta cash out some way.
And to be honest, I think Deshaun Watson, outside of the allegations, right? I think he's a good player. Like if we're talking football, I don't think he's $230 million good. Mm-hmm. But to your point, he's never won a Super Bowl. I don't even know how many playoff games he's won.
Mm-hmm. He won a college championship.
And then I'm also surprised because while the quarterback position is, the most prominent position on the field, that he's a black guy, right? And typically they're not afforded those luxuries, right? I think if it was Big Ben, we understood why he got away with that, right? And a slap on the wrist. And 6 games in the grand scheme of things is a slap on the wrist.
Absolutely.
So I'm surprised that he kind of walked away essentially unscathed with this situation. So
yeah, so we'll definitely keep you posted on this. This is not something that again we're gonna avoid or we're gonna talk around. So again, just passing on information as and again our perspective. So please just accept it as such. And if you have a differing opinion,
send it
please
over. Come
within the
us.
comments, send us a DM. Whatever means
comment, subscribe.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Whatever means you, because again, this is conversation, so we like to know how you feel.
Absolutely.
I do have a question for y'all. So, so this morning, I had to drop my baby off, right? And so my baby decided that he wanted a donut. Mm-hmm. And as any of you know that have ever had a baby, that is what's going to happen. He's not really asking. He's basically directing your morning now. He said he wanted a donut. So as we pull into Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru, I see one of the guys that works there. He comes out of the back door. As I'm ordering, I can see that back door. He comes out of the back door.
He's smoking a Newport 100.
And he has on
the long though, not the short.
No, he has on the JC 3000s. And for those of you that don't know what JC 3000s are, those are the thong sandals.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. I was like, yo, is that
I got me some of those.
I was looking the Moses ones.
I wear those.
So
they comfy.
So he had on the JC 3000s.
God, threes.
And he was coming from back where I'm sure the donuts and the drinks and the
sprinkles and all that.
Was he wearing socks or he had
no
his toes
socks?
Out? His toes.
So my question is, when you see someone at a restaurant that you're about to patronize and there's something off with their uniform, what are your thoughts? Have you ever experienced that?
Yes.
Okay, talk to me.
I'm still gonna eat it though.
Talk to me.
You think he grabbed the donuts with his
toe? With his big toe.
With my strong hand.
So you've experienced that?
Yeah, where they just don't look the part, and you be like, "What? Did you just roll out of bed from the back? Like, what is going on up here?" But I'm gonna still get that number 3 with them extra fries.
Okay.
I'm gonna say how that food tastes.
Did he have a pedicure?
Ooh.
No,
I didn't get that
nasty,
close. I didn't get that close. I just saw that he didn't have socks on.
Did he get the white? The glazed paint? I'm asking.
The glazed paint?
I have no idea where this is going. I have no idea where this is going.
You don't get your feet done?
I'm petty gang. I ain't even gonna run from
You
do what?
Like you don't go get your feet done?
What is that? What does getting your feet done mean?
Like go get a pedicure.
Yeah, you got.
I definitely get mine trimmed.
You don't get a pedicure?
Oh, he a manly man. Look at him.
So like your sheets probably
So
cut
you do
up.
it. Your sheets look like Swiss cheese.
Toes got gorilla pox over there. Go ahead, big man.
You cut our mics.
Good night.
Yeah.
We're not actually here to talk about my feet.
But you didn't answer, so you don't, do you at least put Vaseline on and put socks on them?
The story.
Are they soft?
The story was about this Dunkin' Donuts guy wearing the JC 3000s and the perception that I then had of the service that was actually being performed.
We digress.
Yeah, we digress. We just gonna completely move on. I'm never being vulnerable here again. Let's give it up for that.
You don't want to talk about feet?
Oh, we can talk about feet.
Oh, please.
Oh, we can talk about feet.
And we're going to talk about knees and elbows, too. Knees, elbows.
I've been waiting for that. My nose ashy.
Oh,
you're nasty, and you on camera. Like
the light did not help.
Something's wrong. Like something's really wrong?
All right, I'm gonna help. No. I'm gonna help my man out. No, I'm gonna help my man out. So before he came here today, he was actually interning at Popeyes, and he just didn't have time to take care of it.
Looking for that PT.
So let's give it up for Popeyes drive-through. All right. So something else that I came across was oh boy. So the new age of coaching, right? Kevin Samuels is an example, right, where you come here and you're supposed to be getting like advice. You're supposed to be made to feel comfortable and feel better. Then you're told that you're too fat, you're too ugly, and you'll never get married.
Well, like life coaching, you mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, coaching period, right?
Okay.
It's very much
so I have started seeing these new age masseuses, and the massages that they are performing on these women.
Sexual.
That's it
look fun to me.
Where is James? Where is Darquavia's daddy? Where is Darquavia's daddy?
Hold on. I have to finish setting the scene. So one could argue this is softcore porn. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. And the assumption, funny, has been, are these women in relationships while they're being, in essence,
groped,
manhandled in these massage sessions? I'm trying to figure out, what am I asking?
You're asking.
No, you're asking what you're asking.
You're asking.
The answer is yes.
Would you let your lady get a sexual massage?
No. Would you let her? Do you know?
Would you let her massage be led by lust? Do you know?
There we go. We go. So go ahead. No, go ahead. So
I mean, because do you know? Like, no, I think the ones who are recorded, they're single, but. You don't know everybody coming through that salon.
The ones that are recording, I think those are the ones that's not single. You putting it out there.
Yeah, no, them ones, I think those are single. But you ain't seeing everybody else. Because I mean, what's
so you so genuine? Your energy is a little high.
Because I don't see nothing wrong with a little massage.
I wish y'all could see massage.
She's flicking the one edge that she just keeps flicking that.
Look, I need y'all to hurry up.
Darquavia's daddy is not going to be
there at football practice.
So you cool? Like you cool with the man? You know what I mean? He got his chesticles out and all that, hitting you with the joint and grabbing the under booty, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you know, every now and then you need a little roughness.
And you couldn't just call Darquavia's daddy to do that?
Darquavia's daddy may not do those things.
Well, you could send him through a class, right? Why wouldn't you just hire that in-house? Why would you outsource that?
Because it feels good. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yo, you said, hold on. Let me make sure I'm following. Yeah. I don't like to be left at the previous stop. You said, why would you outsource that? That's a great question though. And did you find them on Groupon?
His hands just ain't the same.
Okay.
See now this is where the disrespect builds. This is where it begins to go. There's
now
the
see
line.
how y'all ask questions, but doing when I answer, y'all want to act brand new. So see, I'm gonna be quiet.
Okay.
No.
Keep going. These microphones are on. Keep going.
That's fine.
Now Darquavia's daddy pull up to the same salon where
there you go.
Where hand job Rob.
There you go.
Frequent.
He's not gonna pick me up because he don't know I'm there.
No. He knows now.
He don't know. No, he don't.
No. But I'm saying
he got the code to your phone though, the password, any location.
Hypothetically speaking,
but he in DR.
Hypothetically speaking.
No, go ahead.
He's
in DR. I got you.
And he gets a massage out there.
Fine.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna go somewhere too.
Okay.
What's the hot spot? Tulum. All right. What they say? You got domestic hoes, my foreign. With these domestic daddies.
Flued out and chewed out.
Hey!
Coming live from Atlanta Hartsfield International Airport, we have our partner in pod correspondent Erlington Augustus live on the ground.
Good evening, Darquavia's mama. Yeah, what's the story, Lee?
So the story is. I don't have my notes. and I don't think it's a real story, but they're actually
it's fake, but it's fun for the
But there's a
internet.
real conversation that's tied to
Absolutely.
it. So you as a male,
Grown ass adult male.
you find a woman and you're talking to her and y'all are going back and forth and y'all are enjoying each other's company.
Right.
Yeah.
Naturally, what happens next is you want to see her in person, spend some time with her, etc.
Yeah.
Now that requires a booking of a flight.
Does it? Oh, if y'all not,
How you about to get there?
Yeah, right. So someone
y'all not
books
in
a
the same,
flight.
y'all not co-located.
Now I'm saying someone books a flight, but in this particular scenario, let's say the man books the flight. The woman now comes to see him. Because he facilitated the transaction of her flying to his location, and it doesn't have to be his location. What if they met
at a destination,
but he facilitated the transaction?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there an expectation that she will
get them cheeks up? Tommy from Martin.
What are the expectations? What are the expectations?
Like Tracy Lee Ross said, yes.
As grown-ups,
All right.
and I'm assuming we're all adults here and we're all grown-ups. First off, if you getting flued out, I'm getting chewed out, and then you getting blued out. That's how it works, right?
What does chewed out mean?
We're all adults here.
No, because like chewed.
For the people.
What are you chewing?
For the people in the back.
I don't have to get into detail.
Your teeth.
No.
Where are we? What is
Ma'am,
No, I'm asking.
ma'am, children watch the show. I just found out that children watch the show. Secondly, what you identify was a dick down destination. Like when we go to
what?
A triple D?
A what?
A what?
It's a dick down destination.
Is that something you could book?
All inclusive?
Yeah. Yes, all inclusive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you
All
go-
inclusive.
the 3Ds, the dick down destination.
Okay.
Now, as a grown ass adult male, the strategery in your booking means you have to get a balcony, and if you don't get a balcony, then you're a rookie.
Back shots on the balcony.
Okay.
Ma'am, children watch this show,
Okay.
please. This is like, ma'am.
So no.
Family show.
Since she's here, and when I say
Right.
here conversationally,
It's gonna be appropriate.
since you're here,
Right.
let me ask, right?
Just to be clear.
So,
Just to be clear.
so if a woman is flown out, what is her thought process? And mind you, you can't speak for all, but
I can't.
okay, but what is her thought process as the one being invited? What is her thought process before she leaves?
Oh, I mean, she ready. Okay.
Ready for?
You gonna eat flued out, blued out, chewed out, and get a little groceries on the back?
There you go. Look,
Uh-huh.
you gotta eat while you're there. You gotta eat.
Yeah,
while
you
you're
got
on
you got
vacation.
to,
I
right?
want to ask what
You
that
got
means. but I don't-
you
I
got to
don't
eat
know.
little groceries
It
while you're
sound-
there too, right?
Y'all expect stuff like that from me? When she says it sounds wild.
Wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm following.
Well, hold on, because he didn't explain chew.
Hold on.
Hold
Are you saying?
Are you suggesting?
Are you suggesting that before she leaves, she also has an expectation that she's going to involve
like
herself
this.
in some adult activity?
It's adulthood.
Yeah.
Now what
I
she
ain't just here to please you.
now what she doesn't know,
respectful.
and I'm leading the witness, she doesn't know to what degree, but she's open to it. Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
Okay. So now that you're there, is it fair in that place for the man to have an expectation of you?
I again, certain women are different. So if you had a conversation before you got there, because
Right.
I do think people should have these conversations
You
before
do
they hop on
stress,
flights.
communicating for sure.
I do.
All right.
Have these conversations. What is it feeling like? What them text messages feeling like? Because are you talking cash money in these texts?
Right.
And then you want to get there and you want to act like I can't touch you.
so you
I
saying
think
she's talking like big talk, and now
I mean that energy has
She's
to be matched.
she's matching the energy
Yeah, if the energy's
conversationally,
matched,
right.
then you guys know when you get there.
Right.
Right. And if you are talking cash money, but then when you get there you want something else.
Right.
I mean, I hope you got the money for your one way back.
So now we get
That's
to
hard.
it. So
That's hard.
you've arrived. I feel like right, wrong, or indifferent. I've held my end of the bargain. I flew you out here. I took you to the finest restaurants. I took you to the day party. I
got
did
the balcony suite.
Right. I did all that. Right. I went all out. I even got my car washed. I got the Crown air freshener in the back. I got the Black Magic on
Black
the tires. I
Magic.
did everything. Now, my expectation, I'm leaning into it. I'm not forcing. I'm leaning into it.
No, that's good. No
right.
means no.
So right. Right. We got to be clear on that.
That's why she got flown back home.
So now,
Right.
I'm leaning into it, and you now say no, that's not happening.
Okay.
So my response is, well, you got to go.
Okay.
Right.
No, not now.
Like right now.
Like right now.
Okay.
Ain't no problem.
Ain't no problem. Ain't no problem.
So your response to that is, at that point, it ain't no problem because
Ain't no problem.
Because you done came, saw, conquered, and you gone anyway.
Did what I had to do.
Right. Okay.
Bye.
Wow.
D and B.
Now, to her point, one thing that I guess we didn't talk about extensively was the importance of having those conversations.
Absolutely, right.
Because
Communication.
because the scenario, that's what you didn't see was what was their level of communication prior to. And I will say that, and I'm not even going to put it on the male or the female, but I will say, don't set a stage that you're not willing to perform on.
Talk about it.
Right? Because there have been plenty of times, and this goes both ways, where you'll set yourself up for a situation because you're playing cute.
Yeah.
And then when it's time, now you in an uncomfortable spot.
Because you going in 60 seconds.
Right.
As the man, I'm saying.
Right.
You see what I did there?
I did.
He was like, yeah.
Well, I was hoping.
Yeah, that was it.
I was hoping that my would push us through that. Like we wouldn't even acknowledge that. But since we're here, I'm gonna let y'all finish.
I'm just saying, you got to deliver on your end too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then I mean, if you friend zoned and you
She
want to buy
might
all
have,
these
like-
flights, don't be mad when you ain't get no cheeks.
You know what I'm saying? She might have y'all might have played next, oh, I'm so excited.
So let me ask. So
You know that happens.
So here's the thing. I know we're
Folks like the cat.
So I know there's people listening to this that are in this situation or will be. So let's give them some advice.
Okay.
So what
that's
do
good.
you need to hear?
Let's educate.
What does the woman need to hear conversationally to let her know what type of time I'm on?
You trying to get dick down? What'd you say? Dick down destination. Dick down destination. Do not disturb. Is that the text?
Listen. We already went viral. We don't need any more salacious quotes.
Is that what it was?
Just give them the G.
Why? So y'all don't talk like y'all don't see y'all be
PG
capping in
version.
text. So y'all don't just be like, "Ayo,
Ma'am,
is
I
you
don't
busting
text.
it?"
I don't text.
Wait a minute.
Are you busting it on a Tuesday?
Stay focused.
Busting on the Tuesday.
Or we just gonna go to this part? Like you busting down Tuesday or no?
Is that how that's how they talk?
So women would prefer the direct approach. Is that what I'm understanding?
I mean, tell me what you. Just tell me what you.
Be clear.
Yeah,
That's fair.
be 100 with it. Like,
Okay.
are we coming and we're just gonna chill? We really
Right.
getting to know each other. Like, what are we building towards?
Okay.
Or is this just the
we can-
sneak?
we can
Or
do
is
that
this
shit
the
over the
sneaky
phone.
link?
So
What are we doing?
So now let me bring it back to our side. What indicators
Right.
do you have as men that let you know that she's on that type of
Well,
time?
if we keeping it a buck as a grown ass adult male, you should know her cycle.
What?
If you just met her,
See, and that's how y'all end up in that situation. Because if she flying out
Every time.
on her off week, you ain't getting no cheeks anyway.
yeah, but how would you know it's her off? Because
Ask her, hey, when can I plan this trip? You know what I'm saying? So we can make sure you can get it going. Y'all, that's part of y'all
Now
communication.
I will give you that.
I mean, yeah, do that, but we're talking about like I
You
guess
talk
it's-
about clapping
Do
on
we
the-
really know this person? Can we start there? Like, is this somebody who
And
we've
these are
known,
hypotheticals, right? That's
or
what I'm
is
saying,
this
there's
like
levels to
a
it,
one
right?
night?
Yeah.
I mean, what is it?
Yeah, if it's someone you know, then obviously you can have indirect conversations about that. But
But
like,
if you about to have sex with a person, you should know.
but you don't know that though.
I'm saying if you in that having that conversation, why can't we
Clay,
have those real
didn't
conversations?
Have, with this scenario we're talking about, they didn't have a conversation.
Well, clearly
they was
right,
on-
yeah. He ain't know
All right,
nothing about
They
it.
was on two different tracks.
But back to your if we're using the adult premise, how long we've known each other doesn't matter if we trying to get at it. How long we known each other don't matter.
The energy gonna match.
Right, yeah. I
Well,
mean, this
yeah,
could be
like-
this could be I just met you, or this could be I know you 2 years.
And I think like
if we trying to get to it, that don't matter.
and you saw
It doesn't, but I
Oh,
guess
yeah,
it
that's
would
true.
like when you're sending these texts so that it's not so if somebody who isn't direct, right. And you're saying, okay, well, I just met you, I just met this guy, he's flying me out. I'm just thinking we're gonna go do some things, we're gonna have a date, we're
Right.
getting to know each other, but if we didn't have that conversation, I could see how she could be
But we normally had this conversation from one side, which is she has now been invited on a trip, all things paid for, et cetera, et cetera. Right. But again, I go back to the other side. Guys, stop being imaginary players, as Jay-Z would say. You know that's not you. You setting a scene that is not you and that you aren't doing out of the kindness of your heart.
Right.
You literally trying to set the trap, and then you might be emotionally invested because you put so much money on the situation, and now your response is tied to the fact that in essence that money is a loss to you. But you set yourself up for that because again, you setting a stage that ain't really you.
Yeah.
That's true too. Yeah, no, that's true too.
That's what I say. Like you talking about being grown. That's what you got to be able to read the room.
Right.
Like, you got to read that conversation and see where the energy is going. Like if you, like you said, playing like Muck said, like if you out there like having a nice casual conversation, it's like, hey, I'm going to, Mexico next week. Do you mind coming? Type stuff. Like, don't worry about it. I'll get your flight.
Right.
And you playing that core like, oh, we friend zone it.
But
if you really trying to like, it's like, I'm going such and such. Like, you gonna stay with me.
So to add context, once that flight is booked, that is where I say the responsible adults in both of us, right? Mm-hmm. We say, hey, I'm booking this flight. This is what I got on my mind. You on the other side say, hey, I'm accepting this flight, understanding that you're buying this with the intent of, let's just have the conversation. Now, I know there's nothing sexy about a technical conversation, but
why? I think it's sexy.
The thing is,
I just don't know why we invited him.
The thing is, no.
I love technical conversation.
Like I look through my notes and I'm trying to figure out why.
Talk to me technically nasty.
The problem is y'all hired me to do this job. Like this is what I do, right? Y'all like Arrow say some wild shit, like be as edgy as possible. Risk your life, risk your career.
Bring the snacks.
Right?
Right.
And then
you the only one that eat the
right
snacks.
Here.
What snacks?
Knowing the way you've been talking, that could have been taken any kind of way. The way you've been talking, that's not your job.
What am I doing?
You're doing my job.
I'm just sitting over the potties.
You feel like you're being phased out.
Potty.
You are wilding right now. Okay, I'm supposed to be the wilding person.
Oh, okay.
So just to tie a bow on that.
So like, can I do my?
Hold on, we about to do it. So just to tie a bow on it. What is the name of that package that women can book? What is it called?
Oh, that's the Dick Down Destination.
Yeah, if we could get that somewhere. Yeah, and if we could
put an asterisk in that. Don't throw that out.
You know what?
Put a map of DR.
As a matter of fact, if you had to, let's say there was an infomercial, and you had to sell this package. Where's this camera? Which one is his? That one. Ready?
Shit, this is on the spot.
Let's on the spot. Can you give them? Okay, you ready? All right, go ahead and sell. Go ahead and sell your package.
Let's see if my virtual degree gets me anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, for the low price of $9.99 plus tax, you could enjoy a weekend at Dick Down Destinations. Balcony views, oceanfront, of course, beach, sandy. Stunner shades, cognac, the finest of brandy, and at least 60 seconds of lust. Dick Down Destinations. Call us back. So there we go. Is that the infomercial? Is that good? Did that work?
Yeah. Okay.
And don't forget that you can get.
Oh, sorry. And ladies, especially, you can get those groceries devoured. Okay.
Devoured?
I was gonna say, don't forget you gonna get blued out, and shoot.
Well, of course, that's just part of it.
Let's give it up for that.
This is part of the packaging. So absolutely.
All right, so
I was gonna have to do that.
Good job.
So we also are introducing a new segment, and the segment is called hashtag Muck Mentality.
All right, let's go.
And we are going to introduce it in our own unique way.
Ready?
Y'all ready? Muck if you buck.
Hey.
Muck if you buck.
Hey.
Muck if you buck. Hey. Muck if you buck. Introducing.
I come in again.
Let's give it up for that. All right,
Those are the worst.
All right,
Those are the
Muck. So Muck, the floor is yours.
Why
Give
you
us.
being like this
Nah,
today?
Give us,
I'm hating a little bit.
give us the inaugural
Okay.
hashtag Muck Mentality. Let's go.
Hey, potties. So I just want to get you ready for your week. Okay. So we're going to start with the money. We're going to call that Money Making Mondays. Tell your sneaky link this in the Cash App. We going to say Tasty Tuesdays because you got to taste it. On Wednesdays, we going to call that Wine Down Wednesdays because Jan and accountant been on your nerves and you need a little wine. On Thursdays, we going to turn up because you know what's next. FNF. And Saturday, we got Sexy Saturdays.
What's FNF? Just out of curiosity.
You know what it is.
Okay.
But don't mess up my
respectfully.
sex.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Okay. Sexy Saturdays, because you know it's time to get real sexy and bomb so they could buy the drinks.
Side do
and
Sunday?
then we got Sunday. That's Silent Sunday DND, because I got to go back to work on Monday.
Let's give it up for that.
Hashtag Muck Mentality.
That was amazing.
I hate it here. How do I retire? How do I resign?
No, you're done.
Yeah, you're fired. Yeah, so we can worry about
What?
it.
No, you're this is it. That's
You're
it.
done. You're done.
Hey man, another great episode.
Was it?
I feel,
Who's the judge of that? You don't get to say that.
I guess you're right. Loud, go ahead, man. Get us out of here,
Well, you
man.
know how to end that. One thing for sure.
Two things for certain.
It's 3ThePodway.
Don't forget the groceries.
Literally.
Yucky.
Cash App.
F and F?
FNF. You don't know FNF?
Oh, it's
Wait.
You gotta wait.